water. I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water.
皆さん、こんにちは。In 2020, a new political party started in Japan. It had its starts on YouTube of all platforms. In 2022, this party won its first seat in the House of Councilors in Japan. Last month, during the national elections, this party won 14 seats in the House of Councilors. This gives the political party 15 seats overall. The new party is called Sanseido. It is also known as the Do-It-Yourself Party. For this video, the Sanseido political beliefs are not important. I need to stress, this video does not reflect the Sanseido Party's political views. What is important is what the party is doing and who they are attracting. The Sanseido Party is changing the way young Japanese view and participate in politics. Hiro Higano, a political analyst, says, the Sanseido Party is supported by the young population. The supporters are those who have become disappointed with the politics of the elderly. Mina Okamura, a clinical psychologist and business psychology consultant, says that those that support the Sanseido Party are people that normally do not get involved in politics or elections. Putting political beliefs aside, is the emergence of this new party the beginning of a major change in the Japanese culture and society? Japan is a society called collectivism. The goal of a collective group is more important than the goal of the individual. Japanese culture demands conformity and harmony, known as wa. Also, politeness, respect, and observance to a social hierarchy are stressed. Is the success of the Sanseido Party an indication that the attitude of the young Japanese is changing? Resistance to the demand of conformity, following the lead of their seniors, and most of all, their belief in individualism needs to be looked at. Christians need to be aware of and understand the change in the social and cultural attitude of the young Japanese. This change in attitude may be an indication of Christianity becoming acceptable to the young generation. I'm going to share a podcast by a young pastor in Tokyo. His name is Masa Morishita. He is a senior pastor of Awakening Church in Tokyo. Pastor Masa shares some interesting thoughts about Christianity in Japan.
Japanese person, for instance, when someone comes to them with the gospel, like what's the thing that stops them from receiving the word about Jesus? Is it culture? Is it tradition? What is it?
Well, from my experience, we see a lot of salvations throughout church. We see people easily getting saved.
Pastor Masa starts out with a very bold statement. He says his church has experienced many salvations, quite the opposite to my experience in Japan. I've only lived in Japan for 9 years, but I have learned Japanese are very reluctant to receive Jesus Christ. The one thing a Japanese does not want to be is different. Becoming a Christian in Japan makes you very different. There's a saying in Japan, the nail that sticks out is hammered down. Being different leads to being criticized or even ostracized from a group.
People are very open towards God and Jesus.
Pastor Masa says the Japanese are open to God and Jesus. Perhaps this may be true in Tokyo, but my experience in Japan is Japanese are not interested in Christianity or even Shintoism or Buddhism. Most Japanese are not interested in religion. Then the question arises, why do Japanese go to temples or shrines for religious celebrations of holidays? The answer can be quite simple. If you do not go to shrines and temples on religious holidays, you are the nail that sticks out. The Japanese saying, "I am not Shinto or Buddhist," has nothing to do with their belief in faith. Saying, "I am not Shinto or Buddhism," is saying, "I am not Japanese." Pastor Masa's church is in Tokyo. I don't have enough experience in Tokyo to say that he is right or wrong, but I have observed being Japanese in Tokyo is different than being Japanese in any other part of Japan. Simply put, Tokyo is not Japan. The fear of not being a stereotyped Japanese is not a concern of the young in Tokyo. Compared to other cities in Japan, Japanese in Tokyo are free-spirited and have a different attitude towards life. This reason may be Tokyo does not represent Japan. Tokyo is different because it has become an international financial center. Tokyo is not different from any other international financial center around the world. It has many different races, ethnic groups, and nationalities that gives Tokyo many different values. All international financial centers soon learn to ignore or forget their country's culture and traditions. National traditions and cultures are exchanged for the culture of money.
Misunderstanding that people might have towards Japan, the mission field, because this has been 1%. People from overseas might think the people in Japan love to follow Buddhism and Shintoism, but actually they don't know what they believe in.
According to a survey conducted in 2020 by the Agency of Cultural Affairs, identify as Shinto and 69.8 as Buddhist. These statistics may not be completely accurate. Total percentage of people being Shinto and Buddhist exceeds more than 100%. There may be a reason for this. Many Japanese profess to be both Shinto and Buddhist. Japanese say, "You are born Shinto, married as a Christian, and die as a Buddhist." You go figure that out. It's reported 1% of Japanese are Christian. Even more shocking, less than 0.5 are evangelical Christians. 124 million people, there is estimated to be around 6 million evangelical Christians in Japan. Japan is one of the most powerful industrialized countries in the world, with one of the most powerful economies, but it is the least rich industrial country in the world for Jesus Christ. More money and effort has been put into reaching this country than any other country in the world. Many missionaries label Japan as a graveyard of missionaries.
They follow nothing. They just want it to be normal. They don't want to be weird people. This is what I mean.
Pastor Masa says Japanese don't know what they believe in. He says they follow nothing. Why do Japanese not know about Jesus Christ? I have seen and heard about churches here in Japan that are decades old but have not grown at all. Even worse, the same people that started the church are the same people that attend the church today. At the end of a Bible study here in Japan, I asked the guests, "Is there any questions you have about the Bible study?" The guests then stood there with an expression on their face that I've never seen before. Not a word, just silence and a stare. I asked her again, "Did you enjoy the Bible study?" Her answer was not what I was prepared for. She replied, "I've never heard the name Jesus before." Do Japanese not know about the good news of Jesus Christ? Is there a reason they fear the social consequences of sharing their faith? Or are Japanese Christians somehow prevented from sharing their faith? I believe the answer is both. Japanese don't want to be viewed as different. They want to be considered normal. They want to be just like everybody else. They don't want to be the one talked about, criticized, or even seen as different. They fear about being the nail that would get hammered down. This fear keeps them from sharing their faith, but they are also kept from sharing their faith. Japanese Christians are not taught how to share their faith. Unfortunately, in many churches in Japan, sharing faith is the pastor's job.
From our experience, people not against God, people not against Jesus in Japan, they are afraid of people. So when you come up to talk to them about God, they're open about God, but they are not open to you, if that makes sense.
Pastor Masa said something I've never heard before. He said that the Japanese are not against God or Jesus, but he says they are afraid of you. They can't trust you. Japanese afraid of Christians is something I've never heard before. But when you think about it, you can understand why Pastor Masa says this. Children from an early age are taught by their parents to be skeptical and suspicious of others. The adults do not share their feelings. They are afraid of how others will view them. They fear that people will use their weaknesses to take advantage of them. They are taught to be suspicious of everyone. From an early age, Japanese learn to protect themselves. They are taught religion is nothing about faith, but just wanting your money.
They don't know who you are. They can't trust you as a human. Because nowadays in Japan, or especially in Tokyo, I myself grew up in Tokyo, there's so much people taking advantage of you. So everybody have to protect yourself from other people trying to harm you. So this is how we develop this self-protection skill. This is what I understand.
A pastor here in Japan once told me, before you can get the Japanese to believe in the gospel of Jesus Christ, you must get them to trust you. That's why your testimony is the most important thing you have. It is something that you need to protect. Before the Japanese are willing to hear about Jesus, they must trust you. And in many cases, this could take a very, very long time. Here in Japan, your character is being observed and criticized all the time. Remember, your walk with Jesus is more important than what you know about him. Is the Sanseido Party an indication of change in the attitudes of the young people? Is the Sanseido Party the crack in the resistance to change? Is the Sanseido Party opening an access to a change in the attitude of the young Japanese? As the Sanseido Party is aggressive in their politics, Japanese Christians need to be the same with their faith.
I personally feel like God wants to reveal once again the true meaning of the gospel, that the foundation, the pure foundation of the gospel will be restored. The Christians will come together as a unity, the churches will come together as a unity on the same ground of the foundation of the gospel. And together we'll run for the one mission of the gospel, the Great Commission. Then we will see very soon, not just in Japan, but all over the world will be saved.
Pastor Masa's heart is to see revival in Japan. Maybe revival has come. What we need to do is start doing something about it. If revival has come, we as Christians need to begin to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. God bless you.